Welcome one and all to a Stock Up Podcast YouTube video here. We've got some loot, Resonating Lute Control, I guess is what we'll call it. This card reminds me of Wilderness Reclamation. In my set review, I didn't think it would be as good as Wilderness Reclamation. Like, I thought it had a lot more problems, namely, you know, it doesn't give you mana to protect itself. You kind of have to tap out for it and hope it works. But I might have underestimated a bit. I've heard people have been having some success with it. It is very powerful if it works. And, you know, you can play it on turn 5 or 6 and leave up quite a bit of mana to counter it. So we've got some ways to protect it with Spell Snare, Negate, and 3 Steps Ahead. And then other than that, you know, we've got some cheap red removal to protect ourselves. A myriad of different card drawing spells. I have no idea which ones are the best. So I'm just playing some of each. I could easily see you wanting to play Flow State in this deck. That's one I realized existed kind of after I built the deck. The thing with Flow State is you have to have plenty of sorceries, and I don't really have a lot. I think I would have to lean harder in on Impractical Joke over like Fire Magic. Maybe even play some Sleight of Hands. Maybe if you max up on Stock Up and like Impractical Jokes, that's enough. Plus, you know, like maybe your first copy of Flow State you could just decide that you're going to cast that for one card, but I don't know. These other card drawing spells seem a little more consistent. But I'm definitely not sure which ones are the best. So, you know, got removal, got card drawing, and then at the end, we're gonna win the game with Traumatic Critique or Jeskai Revelation to our opponent's faces. Maybe we need 4 revs too, but I don't think so. So, if you want to see me build this deck from scratch, I did that in another video. It's going to be called the deck guide video that I did yesterday. So go check that out on the channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, it helps a lot. And let's get into some games. Okay, we got our first match here. We're just playing on the ladder. Something. All right, we'll definitely play first, and we will definitely mulligan. And this hand's good. Can't imagine I'm going to need 2 Jeskai Revelations in my opening hand. I'm going to go ahead and play Steam Vents tapped. And that way on turn 2, we'll have Spell Snare available. Dream Beavers. Okay. Pretty nice card, the Dream Beaver. Hopefully they don't make me discard my Stock Up. Okay. So this kind of looks like it could be blue-black mid-range. I could leave up Spell Snare for their potential 2-drop, but the problem is that doesn't actually protect me from Kaito because they still have the Dream Beavers. So I'm just going to go ahead and Stock Up. That worked. Definitely taking just Stock Up a Road here. A Road at least gives me an answer to Kaito, even though, you know, they're still going to get a ton of card advantage with it if they have it, but they don't, so that's nice. Yeah, let's go Stock Up again and see what we can hit. Oh, they found a counterspell. Interesting, and it's like a 2-mana counterspell that I can't Spell Snare because it's this weird card. All right. Tough beats. I can cast this for a draw 5 next turn if the game doesn't get 2 out of hand. Yikes. All right. During Curiosity, I could like erode this and then draw 4, or I could take a hit, they draw 1, and then I Wrath. I think it might actually be better to erode and then draw 4, though, because I'm not. If I Wrath, I'm pretty far away from my Jeskai Revelation. All right. Not very happy about eroding a Dream Beavers, but it's just going to draw a bunch of cards with Curiosity. Boy, if this was Path to Exile. Okay. Let's play this, and let's name Restless Reef, I guess. And then we'll draw 4. Okay. Boy, our deck's not very set up to deal with Enduring Curiosity. And they have 2. Yeah. This game's probably lost, but we will fight on. Good old Enduring Curiosity. Build a brew, get punished by the very bad kitty. Okay. Pass the turn here. I could kill one of these Curiosities. They're still going to draw 2 cards, though, but what are you going to do? Kill that. Yeah, this is just going to be one of the more annoying cards for us in general. I would say I'm surprised people are still playing blue-black midrange, but I'm not. People love this deck. Definitely, like, the worst matchup for any control deck is a deck with Kaido in it during Curiosity and counter spells. If I can resolve Jeskai Revelation here, it's going to be excellent. They have 2 mana up. Is there any world where I wait till their upkeep? The reason to wait till their upkeep is like, it's honestly not that big of a reason because I can't beat a counterspell. So I might as well do it now in case they for some reason have a counterspell that costs more mana, or they have like a card drawing spell into a counterspell. None of the things are that likely, but like if I just pass and they plus this in attack, they have lethal. So I basically have to cast this no matter what. I might as well do it now. So let's go bounce deal 4 and hope it works. These decks don't typically play a lot of counterspells. Some people play none, but this opponent obviously is prepared for control decks. I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? You either counter it or you don't. Okay. All right. Good games. So, yeah, tough matchup. We will do our best. Braid's not particularly efficient. Counterspells are not very good against them. 1 mana removal is kind of okay. Get Lost is kind of okay. I'll have a stock up. Problem is, like, nothing's very good against them. I'll have a Scatter for Curiosity and a Null for Curiosity. I could honestly have Squelcher. Spells I control can't be countered. Sure. And I don't have a lot of sweepers or anything, so I think that's fine. Maybe I don't need Scatter. I mean, Scatter on the play is okay. It can hit a 2 mana flash creature plus Curiosity at some point. Fire Magic's good, though. Flashback. It's okay. Flashback's a little inefficient. There's nothing I want to get that's super good back, so sure, we'll cut one of those for a Scatter, I think. All right, game 2. Play first, certainly. And sure, keep 7 cards, which is nice. Whenever I draw Flashback in my opening hand, that certainly makes me think that 1 is closer to the right number than 2. It's a pretty inefficient card. It doesn't work well early. It doesn't do much of anything early, but it is really good late game, so it makes sense to play some number, but 1 might be the right number. Okay, do I want to cast one of these? Probably cast Consult. Want to make sure I can hit land drops. Stock up seems fine, right? Yeah. I'm going to leave up 3 mana this turn for Critique rather than playing stock up so they can't flash in a creature and then Kaito me, because pretty much all their flash creatures on 2 mana have 1 toughness. So it was pretty nice just to get to 2 for 1 that guy. I'll just discard Flashback here. Kind of have my bases covered and Flashback's inefficient. So let's see what they do. Duress. Yeah, that's annoying because they're going to take stock up. If they don't take stock up, well, let's see what they take. They took a Null. All right, so they definitely have Curiosity. Do I want to run stock up out? Probably, because then the next turn I can play that. So, yeah, let's just cast stock up. Good chance it gets countered here, but what are you going to do? Yep. I will play this because if they play their Curiosity to make sure it doesn't get countered, I will just have to erode it, I think. That way I can draw 4 on my next turn. Yeah. So there's Curiosity. I wrote it. Again, not a good exchange for me, but it's what I have to do. Like it. Road's been good. It's not like Get Lost would have been any better, but this card's just kind of insane against us. I might as well shock this in, I think, because I'm going to have to ping anyways if I don't. So let's draw 4. We're in the same spot that we were in where we have lands and a splatter technique. And here's Kaito. Okay. So I can attack Kaito for 2. Doesn't do much. Draw 4 it is. Alright. Not looking good. Would say I did not draw very well, considering my starting hand. But what are you going to do? Come on, Revelate. Well, already first match, and I'm wishing I had 4 Revelation in my deck. but I do not. Duress, yeah. Go ahead. Stock up, sure. Stock up into, okay, alright, we lose. Alright, I think in general that deck's good against normal Jeskai control also, but it might have been particularly good against us because we have actually less things that are impactful on their own, and we're kind of reliant on one or two big things, and which gets picked apart pretty easily by duress and counter spells, so backed up by a clock, flash clock, obviously, so we'll see you next round. Round 2. So on my mind is perhaps I want to add a 4th Revelation to my deck. We did pretty badly in the last match, though, so I don't want to make a change just based off of one match where we got flooded. But we'll keep that in mind, that a 4th Revelation would have been pretty good against our opponent in the last match. Do I want Splatter Technique? Probably just bin it. It's kind of nice to have it in the graveyard to flashback if I need it. This way I can hit land drops. I should have played the Hall there. I was thinking this was coming to play untapped, but that's okay. This is untapped. Okay. It's going much better for us because our opponent isn't playing blue-black mid-range. Cornucopia. Sure. I don't really need to loot, I don't think. I've got lands. I'm just going to play my Resonating Lute. There's no reason to wait because I don't have something to protect it with anyways. So we'll just hope it lives. Don't kill my loot, please. Unholy Annex, sure. Totally fine with me. Okay. So I'm not sure what to put this on yet. And our life total's not really under much threat, so I'm just going to shock in a land and pass a turn. So we've got 10 mana. We could do Critique for 8 or 2 for 3 or something like that, depending on what they do. Okay, this is fine. I will just zap that fella. Nice, okay. So we have to get up to 7 cards in hand. So if I flashback on Splatter Technique, I would have enough cards in hand to draw a card with that. How much mana would that cost? It costs 6, costs 3 of my lands. Seems worth it, honestly. So let's go flashback, draw 4. And I could even wait, so I don't have to discard an extra card. I could go to... They give up. Okay, fair enough. All right. Now this is the sort of matchup we want to play against. That being said, cyber games will be a lot tougher because they'll max out on discard spells and they'll have ways to destroy my loot and whatnot. So we got to be aware of all of that. I think Spell Snare is not good against them. They might have a few targets, but they don't have a ton. And then also when they cast their discard spells that they're inevitably going to cast, they're going to see the Spell Snare and they're going to play around it. I like Get Lost because they're an Annex deck. I like Stock Up against discard spells. In theory, Ral would be for this matchup. I'm just not even sure I want it still. I guess I don't want Fire Magic. Didn't actually see much of their deck. Presumably they have that big expensive demon. I'll just have Essence Scatter and Disdainful Stroke. That's fine. Practical Joke. Yeah. A Braid. I'm not super interested in killing their Mana Rock. I think I'll have a Null instead. Again, Annex is probably just their best card, so having a Null seems decent. Even though that's another one they can play around, I think it's worth it. Do I want Ral? I mean, in theory I do. I just don't know what to take out. Maybe a Road. But a Road kills their demon. What a Seer kill? I don't even know. Ral. And we could have, what, Flash Furies over Seer? They might have, the 2/4 vampire that draws cards or something, so we'll keep in Seer. That's fine. We will mulligan out of Force. This hand's painful, but gonna have to keep, I think. Gonna be paying a lot of life. Maybe I shouldn't have 4 of these. It is kind of a lot. It's very nice that it's a rainbow land, but in situations like this, it's going to be pretty painful. Duress. Who would have known? Okay, they take negate. Mountain's nice. Reduces our pain by quite a bit. Okay, do I critique here? There's no real reason to do it yet, I don't think. There's no real reason to wait either, right? They're pretty unlikely to play a 1 toughness thing. Alright, yeah, let's just do it. Just a little draw 2 discard action. Probably discard critique, actually, because they're unlikely to play a small creature. And it would be really good after the loot, but I want to keep my 4 lands, and I think I'd rather keep stock up, and I want to keep my null. So I could stock up, but they could easily just be playing around a null because they saw it. They did take 1 answer to the thing, for instance. So like if they only had 1 annex, they could be holding it. That being said, if I pass the turn and they have the demon, that's not great for me. So I might just want to stock up anyways. Yeah, I think that calculation is probably correct. Demon's pretty bad for me if I don't stock up. So, let's just do it. Sure, we'll take this and Hamlet. And here we go. They're going to get 2 free turns of stuff, essentially, because I'm going to be tapping out for loot. Yeah, they did have that. It's a close call, but... Alright, so let's go with naming Fountain Port. Play the loot. And next turn we can cast Rev. So we want to fade a discard spell here, mostly. Professor fell. Alright, they gained life. Weird. So we've got 10 mana. Can't quite leave up my annul, but I can go bounce, deal 4, and then Seer. Interesting. If I had left up a white, like if I had manually tapped and left up a white, I could have really benefited from that. Because then I would have been able to leave up my null, but that's okay. We are out of gas. It's fine. It's funny, we would have drawn that Get Lost hand for that. Now, presumably, they're going to take it. They took a road. Why wouldn't they take Get Lost and then play this? Maybe they don't have a land? It's not like a road is remotely effective against me. I don't know why they wouldn't take Get Lost. Alright, I reckon that was an oopsie. Splatter technique. Why, yes, I would like to draw 4 cards. Thank you very much. Okay, and then let's see. Let's draw another card with the loot. And, alright, I mean, that didn't amount to much, but we'll go ahead and get lost. And we could leave up our null here. Stock up's perfect. It's funny, this ability to draw a card with this has actually been pretty good. As silly as that sounds. It just means that, like, when you're flooded on loots and lands after drawing a lot of cards, you can still continue to trudge along, which is really nice. Okay, so we can go loot. Draw a card. Critique. Yeah, we could leave up critique. That's fine. No, I did not miss lethal, but I could have thought about it. Could have put him to 1, but I think it's better to just pass here. Esper Origins. Easily one of my favorite cards in Standard. It always seems to end up in not great decks, though. Not to say that my opponent's deck is bad. I think a deck like this might actually be pretty well positioned against the, like, is it prowess style of decks? You know, they have a lot of discard, a lot of removal, a lot of life gain and card advantage, so I'm going to try building that deck at some point, basically. I think it's pretty strong. But obviously, like, yeah, the Resonating Lute, tons of card drawing deck is going to be a tough matchup for them. They could make it better, though, you know? Like, if this deck were to be popular, it'd go a long way if they were able to remove this loot more efficiently, for instance. Even though, yeah, now they're just pretty dead. Just go end of turn Revelation and then untap and finish them off. Sure, let's go bounce this 4. And then they can... They're pretty much going to be too choked on mana to do anything at that point. Okay. Opponent went AFK for a second, but came back just in time to lose the game. No worries. Just cast something to prowess here. And we can flashback negate the erode. Though it looks like the opponent might be gone. So I'll let you know in a moment how it went. Victory! Okay, on to our third match here. Let's see if we can turn this into a winning record. We're currently 1-1. Up against Phantom. No blue mana, you say, but going second and have a couple removal spells. Let's see, I ended up with 18 blue sources in my deck. Essentially have 3 turns to draw it. 3 draws. I've got, 53 cards in my deck. 18. It's like a little better than 1 and 3 each time, so 33%. Iterated 3 times. It's probably roughly 50%. But, I could probably draw a non-blue land on turn 3, still hit a land drop, and then find a blue land on turn 4 and have that be okay. So, in that case, it's kind of like a third iterated 4 times, which is definitely above 50%. Or I could just mulligan. How good is this hand? It's pretty good if I peel a blue. I'm going to keep. This might be wrong. But I like that I can interact and have several turns to draw a blue. Okay, looks like we're up against the boogeyman of the format here. Plot show off, yeah. Is it prowess? Probably no new cards, though. They maybe have flow state. That's a pretty good card. Yeah. Looks like I played the wrong land here, by the way. So, really not doing myself any favors. Get all boomerang basics, my Storm Chaser's talent. So if I draw a land here, get to wrath both their board. Doesn't even have to be a blue land. Nothing. All right. I could have played better. Well, yeah. Because I was thinking, I should play the mountain, because if they went talent, play another talent, I could fire magic them. But that wouldn't, I would have to wait till my turn anyways for that to work. So I definitely messed that up. But yeah, and then, the keep didn't end up working out because we're mana screwed. Having drawn no lands is definitely unlucky. That being said, it might have still been a bad keep. I'm still kind of adjusting to the new mulligan rule, where it's not actually that bad to mulligan, especially once. Because you get to still draw 7 and put 1 back. For a long time when I played Magic, that was not the case, or how Magic worked. So that's my excuse. But yeah, it's close. Wish I had blue mana to spell snare that. This card's really good in their deck. I think it's an upgrade over stock up. Because they have so many, sorceries and whatnot. I could have responded with a fire magic there, but I think the chance that they had an instant was probably high. But maybe I should have done it anyways. Alright, so I'm going to 3. They have 4 talents, so they just have infinite card advantage. Kind of crazy that their deck is, both the fastest aggro deck in the format and can go really long against a control deck because they have 4 Storm Chaser talents and boomerangs and flow states. Okay. So let's see, what can they start getting back? They can start buying back flow states. Yeah, they found more boomerangs. Yeah, I don't think we're getting out of this one. They just are more controlling than me in this game. They just have me beat on every angle. Okay, 5 mana. So let's zap one of these little guys. Not finding an answer to the other one means I lose. So just cast 2 spells. All right. Good games. May have gone differently if I mulliganed, although they drew so well that I don't know what if, to be honest. Don't need a braid. Get Lost in a Road are pretty atrocious here. A Null is good. I mean, they only have talent to counter, and it costs 1 mana, but like it's just such a good card that I think I have to have it. Pyroclasm is okay. Practical Joke. Yeah. I mean, I do need some removal for their stuff. Maybe I keep a braid just because it's an instant way to answer Slick Shot. That's probably right. Let's give this a try. Oh, Splatter Technique's a little weak against them. They're going to have Spell Pierce type Vex, presumably. Should I have Hexing Squelcher? I don't like that it dies to Pyroclasm. I mean, they're probably not going to have that many counterspells, right? Splatter Technique, Might Wrath. They might even have, like, Row that it could potentially be good against. Oh, I should have cut 3 steps ahead. And that card's pretty bad. It's too much mana. We'll do that if we go to game 3. Okay, play first. Alright, I actually think this hand's worse than my first one, or than the last games, because it's not actually good even if I draw a land. And my land situation's awkward, so I can't even cast Consult on turn 2, for instance, to dig out of it. So yeah, let's mulligan. And sure, we'll keep this, put back our 7-drop. Do what we can here. Flashback. No. My hand's already a little clunky. I don't want to add a clunky card. Elusive Otter. So I could cast a Critique. But I would have to shock myself. And I kind of have what I need already, so I'm not going to do that. Hopefully they do not leave up an instant to protect their Otter. Okay, they don't. Play Talent. This card's so brutal. Alright, yeah, 3 steps ahead is just terrible. I shouldn't have it in my deck after sideboard. I don't see any reason why one of these would be better, so I'll just kill the Otter. Okay, we're gonna need to find a 4th land. Yeah, yep. Fire Magic's been nice. Maybe I'll find land Fire Magic, go with my stock up. I'm gonna rush saving more Fire Magic. Alright, I'm gonna shock myself. I know my life totals is under duress here, but I really feel like I just need to fire no Fire Magic. And this lets me leave up a red. There we go. Fire Magic. I probably just need a land though, right? If I tap out for loot next turn, not interacting with the board at all. Yeah. Fire Magic. Fire Magic's really good in this deck. I should maybe have more. Since, you know, it's a good, decent sweeper early, and then with the loot, I can actually get up to the 6-mana mode pretty easily. Otter. Okay. So now we're getting some traction because they're missing land drops. I think I'm going to continue to just keep killing his creatures. Let's tap this, please, so I can leave up my red mana. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, well, now we're in good shape. So 3 steps ahead. Should I just draw 4? Obviously, 3 steps ahead, counter plus draw would be good too, but the disaster is like pass the turn and leave it up and they don't cast anything. If they don't cast anything, I'm in good shape. I could have just hit more line drops, so that's fine. Oh, you know what? They could have had a show off to plot, so I think I should have cast that in hindsight. All right, found a loot. So now we get to go loot into draw 4, which is nice. All right. Kind of out of card drawing already. I could... Oh, I'm going to get to draw a card next turn. An extra card with the loot. Nice, yeah, lands, yeah. Being mana screwed's not fun. Yeah, let's keep killing his stuff. I might skip a land drop here so I can make sure... Well, hang on. I could play a land. I'll go down to 6 cards. say I cast 3 steps ahead, I'll still be on 6 cards because I'll kick it, and then on my next turn I'll drop to 7. So I can actually play a land here, I think. And I could clone the loot just to have another thing to draw more cards. Okay. So it turns out games of Magic are easy to win when your opponent is mana screwed. But what about when they're not? I mean, 3 steps ahead was totally fine there, but I think I'd rather just have it stock up. Man, I wish I had more fire magics. I've got a Pyroclasm. Yeah, I think this is probably what I'll run with. You know, the card I might want in my deck instead of 3 steps ahead might just be, I think it's called Homeschool? Homeschooled, maybe? It's just a card from Spider-Man set where you can either draw 3 cards or counterspell and draw a card, and it costs 5. Boy, this hand's rough. So I'm going second. This comes in tapped. I don't have ways to draw extra cards. I can't counter a turn 1 talent, but I could counter, like, you know, if he boomerang basics on the next turn, I could recount the talent when he recasts it. That being said, this hand's really bad against Slickshot Show Off, and it kind of has to draw like 3 lands in a row to do anything, so I'm going to mulligan. Alright, I'll keep this. I think I'm going to put back a null. I know it's my only early interaction, but this stuff all works together nicely. And a null, like if they just don't draw Storm Chaser talent this game, then I'll be kind of on a mulligan to 5, which is really hard to win from. So I think if I was going first, I would keep that, because I would have been able to counter that, but what are you going to do? All right, let's play this in case I want to have 2 mana on turn 2. They just have the basics, yeah, and the talent. All right. Need more fire magic. Probably dead. Their deck's just so fast on the play when they have this start. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I could have done. Okay, well, Seer can hit the Slick Shot, so there's that at least. But obviously I'm just not going to beat the Otters. They're just too powerful. If I'm going to win this matchup, I probably need more like Fire Magics and Pyroclasms. It's tough, because if I had been going first and I just annul this turn 1, this game is like completely different, but how it goes. Interesting. So are they not playing the Slick Shot? Guess not. Boomerang. Alright. Let's kill this. Hope to draw Fire Magic. If I had kept my annul, it would have been good even here. So that might have been another, to be fair. So I definitely didn't play optimally this match. But boy, this game was a blowout. Even if I had an null, I'd probably still be losing. So let's see. I don't have a 1 mana instant, so I just lose because I boarded out my roads, so I could kill this and have 1 mana up, but then I die. All right, good games. Mishko. I will play first. I will keep. I like this hand. I like that I have something that answers a creature, something that answers a non-creature. I've got my loot. I've got something to cast after the loot. Do need a 4th land, but, you know, there we go. There's one. What are we up against? We're up against green-black midrange again. Fable Passage. That usually means they're playing with Ice Till Explorer. I mean, I'd rather play against this deck than the Prowess deck, that's for sure. Okay, so if I draw a land, I think I might as well just pass the... Well, I have 2 loots. No, I should just play 1. If I only had 1, I think I would wait until I had negate up. But even if they remove this, I just have another one with negate up for protection the next turn, and if they don't remove it, I have Jeskai Revelation next turn. which is going to trump anything they would play. Mine Roots. Okay, definitely don't want to give them a land. So discard this extra loot. And probably just negate. That's fine. Hopefully we don't get duressed. Okay, cool. I might name Fabled Passage with this, honestly. No, I should just name Bossing Say. So I've got 10 mana. I'm just going to leave up Rev. It's just so good in this situation. Whenever this creature attacks, you gain a life. Return this card from your battlefield tapped. Huh. A cute card. I don't know, that's good, but it's cute. Let's see. Let's bounce one of these lands and deal 4. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Untap. Let's start with draw 4, which allows us to draw another card. And then I can just leave up. Might as well do this for prowess, I think. Even though I kind of have to burn some mana. Attack for 6. Leave up 3 steps ahead. And that should be the game. So certainly when you don't interact with loot and you're not pressuring my life total, it's really good. But to be fair, just a regular Jeskai control game would have beaten this opponent too, I think. But I mean, it is nice that this like went so far over the top of them. But like if I just hit land drops and cast this on 7, this probably also beats this draw from the opponent. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah, on steal 4. So 4, yeah, so just go sear one of these guys. And attack for 6. Alright, green-black mid-range. Don't like Spell Snare or Fire Magic very much. Or Parade, or Joke. Like Stock Up, Scatter and Stroke, Get Lost. This opponent didn't necessarily show us things to annul. They do probably have Ice Till, though, because they have Fabled Passage, so I'll probably board one of those, and then I'll board it like a Rel. Okay, game 2. This hand has spells to cast. It's missing lands, but I'm on the draw. I have a high land count deck, and I'm less inclined to mulligan against a deck where their plan is going to be like Mind Rots and Duresses. I am willing to keep a slightly worse hand against that sort of strategy. This hand would be really nice if I just had a critique in it, or a stock up or something. Consults. Maybe I should have more of those, like one less loot or something. Honestly, these flashbacks too have been kind of mediocre. I should probably only have one at the most. It's just not a very consistent card. What is this? Players can't draw cards or gain life. At the beginning, each player's draw set loses their life. Searches a library for a card? Okay. Yeah, I'll have a stock up. Thanks. Your turn. Another one. This is so bad because I could just go get a Get Lost if I really needed to. And it's like, I think beginning of each player's draw step. Yeah. At this point, I probably want to land. Boy, opponent's really helped me out here. Yeah, let's get a... I'm going to Get Lost this. I could get like a white mana so I don't have to pay more life. Since my life total's getting kind of messed up here. Sure. I guess, you know, I'm giving them a lot of... Don't want to flashback Get Lost. Just to get the flashback out of my hand. I could see wanting to use the stock up. I'm giving them a lot of maps. And they're doing damage to me. Like they did 6 damage to me. They got a bunch of maps. That being said, I got some like card selection. I got to put a stock up and a land in my hand, which I really needed. I guess those worked out okay for them. I was kind of laughing at them, but they're not so bad, I don't think. Ice Till is a really good card. There's It's always just going to be good against me, especially when I have to, like, erode it, you know? Alright, I could play the Lute, but if they have a removal spell for it, that I'm kind of, like, skipping a land drop to do so, so I think I'll just stock up. Stock up and try to find the land here, which I do find. Might as well take this one. I could take 2 lands, or I could have another road, which, you know, at this point they're gonna have all the lands they want, so I might as well have some efficient removal. Plus, I would like to keep them off of creatures, since they have all these map tokens. Okay, so we can get rid of Get Lost, or Flashback rather. Maybe I should ditch Loot at this point. I'm so low resource. Could ditch Loot. I could keep the Flashback for stock up. I could ditch Critique. I think that's probably right. Disparate Origins. So they're getting the value whether I wrote it or not, and then the green doesn't do much for them. They attack me for 4. So I think I just let this happen, and I keep my road for something else. Next turn, I'm looking at Flashback stock up to hit some land drops, most likely. Again, I could have kept Loot and played it and then tried to bank on Revelation, but that's bad against, like, a Duress. It's bad against something that would destroy my Loot. Like that Maelstrom Pulse that they kept on top of their deck. Interesting. They don't draw a card by keeping that on top. I'm pretty happy with my decision now. So I could Flashback stock up, although at this point I guess I could also Flashback Critique. But I could only do it for 3, and this is a 4/4. So sure, let's just Flashback stock up. And yeah, we'll get land, or 7th land, and Flashback. Or I could take, like, Ral and Flashback. Ral just gets answered by the Maelstrom Pulse, though. So sure, let's do that. Guess I'll name Volatile Field. Volatile Fault, whatever it's called. Since if I name anything else, they'll just fault this. Okay. So yeah, I don't expect the green to do much. I guess they get to map a bunch. How much do I care about that? Oh, this is nasty, actually. Ooh, that's really good. Wow, okay. Alright. I kind of poo-pooed on that card. And then it was just really good against me just now, so might have to take back all the bad things I said about it. Roots. Brutal. Okay. Yikes. It's really just this that's the problem. If they didn't have that, we'd be fine. Now this game's going to be real hard. Alright. Pass the turn. I guess I'm actually just gonna bounce this copy. Keep them from drawing 2. Since there's nothing really else good to bounce. Alright. They've got 1 unique card. They're gonna Maelstrom Pulse my tokens. Ah. It's like worst case scenario. I was just thinking, I hope it's not a Mind Roots. Alright. It's okay. It's okay. We'll run it back. They're going to get to draw 1 unique card again. So hopefully it's not good. I'm going to get to, run back the play where I stop the paradigm. I could keep this for another Mind Roots, but I have some expensive cards in my deck, and they've already drawn 3, so even if they play 4, is 1 in 37. I'm not going to play around that. Alright, don't 1 in 37 me, bro. Yeah, let's rev, bounce, steal 4, and I'm out of gas. Crap. Okay. And depending what they draw, like if they draw nothing, 3 steps ahead is so good here. So I can negate this and 3 steps ahead, right? I have enough mana? Yeah. And if I don't 3 steps ahead, then I can animate my Biblioplex. Loot. Oh, no, thank you. So, attack for 2. Pass the turn. Negate. Maybe I want them to pay the 2 life and just try to negate the stuff they draw, actually. But if they draw creatures, they're going to 6. How many revs do I have left? I think I used all my revs. 1, 2, 3, and I've used 2 flashbacks, so I don't get any more revs. So I'm kind of inclined just to try to do the full amount of damage. Yeah, all right. Let's negate this. And last turn they didn't do anything, so presumably they have like a land or something. Moonsong Aria. That seems fine. They're gonna lose so much life. I don't think this is a good cyber card. I do think this is. But yeah, like I just turned this into a wizard and they're dead. Let me go get critique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Good games. Why didn't I? Oh, I can't draw cards. I see the rationale for having that card. I really do. It's not good against Stock Up or Consult. I see the rationale. I think maybe it might be better just have like more duresses or whatever in your sideboard though. Okay, I'm going to play one more match. But I think I'm going to make a change or two. What was I thinking of doing? Maybe changing the sideboard? Wow, I already can't remember what I was going to do. Oh, add more fire magics. And just things that make it so I can win against prowess more often, ideally. And I think fire magic is among the best ways to do that. Let's add a fire magic. How good is Pyroclasm against them? It's okay. I do like fire magic better. Could have Iros instead of like a Seer. I don't want to go too overboard. Yeah, let's cut an Impractical Joke for a Pyroclasm. Okay, those changes should help, I think. And then, like, I kind of wanted a 4th rev, but maybe, honestly, I think the card I would cut for it is just Flashback. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Oh, another thing I want to try, because 3 Steps Ahead has mostly just been really good, but... Oh, Outsmart the Amateur is what it's called on Arena. I think this might be good. It's kind of like Splatter Technique, where it's an expensive draw spell that works well with the loot, but it also can be a counter spell. Is this really better than 3 Steps Ahead? Probably not, I guess. Because 3 Steps Ahead I can cast on turn 3. On turn 5, if they... The only time this is better is if on turn 5 they don't cast something for me to counter. Yeah, 3 Steps is probably better. All right. Do I want to cut a flashback for a Jeskai Revelation? Certainly, like, if I play a loot on turn 4 and I... You know, all I have is flashback, but it felt pretty dumb. But in order for that to be bad, I will have to have not had drawn any critiques or stock ups or consults to have in my yard. So let's stick with this for now, actually. All right, I think this is the last match. We'll have played 5 matches. We're currently 2-2. Let's see if we can get a winning record here. I go first. Sounds good. I can cast Consult on turn 2 to try to hit a land drop. If I knew what they're playing, I would consider leaving up Fire Magic at turn 1 to, like, kill an elf. But it's probably better that I keep my 2 life on average. It's kind of close. But I think I'll keep my 2 life. It's going to be hard to know what to name with Petrified Hamlet here. Gene Pollinator. All right, well, I'll probably just do this. Thundering Falls. Negate. Against Gene Pollinator? Probably not. So Gene Pollinator usually means Badgermilk Cub, which usually means Simic, but they're actually playing green-black. They're still probably Badgermilk Cub. They're green-black. What am I going to name with this Hamlet? Oh, I guess Bossing Say. It doesn't seem very likely that they would play the green-black creature land in a Gene Pollinator deck. It doesn't seem that likely to play Bossing Say either, but it seems more likely. Okay, here's Cub. So Let's see, I could snare it, or I could fire magic everything. The thing is if I wait to do fire magic, they're going to have 4 mana, or at least 3. And that's kind of unacceptable, because that means they could play a Ice Till. Although I have 3 steps ahead for an Ice Till. Alright, I'll allow it. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. So I've got 4 mana. Leatherhead. Yeah, definitely need to counter that. And then hopefully we draw a land. We do. That's nice. I'm definitely just going to shock and do fire magic for 2. Nice little 2 for 1. Beseech the Mirror. So I'm going to play Lute. I'm assuming Beseech the Mirror is in their deck so they could like get Orboroid and stuff. I don't really think they're going to have Maelstrom Pulses or that type of card. Happy to spell snare that pursuit though. All right, now the world's our oyster. Let's do Consult, since we can cast it for 4 mana cleanly. Oh, I would have liked to land, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so green-black mid-range stuff with Badgermole Cub. I mean, Badgermole Cub's just a good card. So they probably have Elf, Gene Plunder, Badgermole Cub, Pursuit, Beseech the Mirror. All right, sure. Splatter Technique's good against them. Fire Magic's good. Pyroclasm's maybe overkill. Doesn't kill things that get counters on them. Doesn't kill Leatherhead. That being said, it might actually be better than Fire Magic. Right? It's just cheaper. Flash Freeze. What are they going to have a black 4-drop they're going to get with this that I won't be able to counter? I don't know. I think I'll cut Negate, though, and I'll have Stroke and Scatter for sure. I don't like Get Lost against this sort of deck. It just always have little things in play. I mean, Flash Freeze has got to be good, right? It's worse on the draw. I could cut like 3 step ahead for Flash Freeze. And then I could have an extra stock up in case they have some discard spells, or I could just have another Fire Magic to try to just make sure I keep the little creatures in check. I think that's probably the most reasonable thing. And in fact, I could see maybe just having 3 Fire Magics. I think on the play, Fire Magic will be slightly better, just because of the way it interacts with Badgermole Cub on the play versus the draw. So in the draw, I'll just have 2. Yeah, this sounds great. Wish I had a Fire Magic, but can't complain. Ha! Nice. So they don't have a 1-mana creature or a 2-mana creature. They have Pursuit. Interesting. So this might be a bit of a grindy game, actually. But that's okay. Got stock ups and stuff. Probably set up pretty well to play this sort of game. Oh, I see. They could use the stuff they get from the Pursuit to tap their Gene Pollinator. There's no reason to stock up here. I would just have to discard hand size. So I'll just leave up Flash Freeze and Fire Magic. They are drawing a lot of cards, but, you know, we'll eventually draw cards too. Sure. Is this... they want to counter on their guy? 2 counters on their guy. Alright. I should probably stop that. But X not great at killing creatures that are 4 toughness. Nope. They were playing around Fire Magic. Okay, nice. Oh, I could leave up Flash Freeze and be able to play Lute, plus leave up Flash Freeze next turn also. The risk, of course, for playing Lute is that they remove it. And if they play that, they play that 4-mana bargain card, so if they have that in their hand, they'll probably be able to remove the Lute. I could just stock up, I guess. Not leave up Flash Freeze, because the Flash Freeze doesn't cover all my bases and also isn't very good against them, just cracking clues and attacking. The Lute's the highest upside, obviously. I guess if I Lute, they spend 4 mana, they remove the Lute, I untap. I'm kind of back where I was, but I can play stock up plus leave up Flash Freeze, so sure, we'll just go for the high upside play. That has a fallback of a decent option anyways. Alright, they have their Besiege. Yep. the ooze. Okay. This is all pretty annoying. Not gonna lie. So let's stock up. Definitely Jeskai Rev. What does Pyroclasm do? Does not kill his creatures. I guess I should take a road at this point. His creatures are... He's probably going to be able to get a creature above 4 toughness so that the splatter technique doesn't actually do anything. Sure, I'll take a road. This might be a hard game to win, but Jeskai Revelation's a hell of a card, so we'll see. It's interesting that I've played against 3 black-green decks, all of different stripes, which makes sense. They do have a lot of good cards. It's just not clear how you should build their deck. Played against some pretty different versions. Yeah, so they're making the Gina 3/4. So splatter technique would have been okay. That card's not very good against me. Oh, interesting. I drew fire magic, and they didn't attack, so their guy's at 3 toughness. Yeah, I'm just gonna fire magic, destroy their 2 creatures, and then next turn I can play Rev. This actually activates only as a sorcery, right? Yeah. Man, fire magic's been real good in this deck. Maybe I should have 4. Sounds a little crazy, but it's just been so good. Boy, they have a lot of card drawing. I need to start going after a lot of their life total, I think. This does help me a little bit. It damages them. They lose a life every turn. It can give something lifelink if I'm not careful, though. We finally get to see what their big payoff card is. Phoenix Fleet Airship. Okay, I've seen this card. Alright, I don't think it's the end of the world, though, because I could, like, bounce one of the things. Should probably board out Flashback against them if they're going to have the ooze. So this is going to double the 4, and then doubling to 8 is the problem. Gene, sure. You get to attack me now. This only puts a counters on an attacking creature, so I could just kill the thing that attacks me, or I could bounce the thing that attacks me and kill the Gene. Nothing attacks me. Alright, well in that case... Well, hang on. If I bounce the Gene, they don't have a blocker, but I have an erode for the Gene anyways. Yeah, alright. Bounce Phoenix Fleet Airship. Oh, but if I erode the Gene, then they can just crew something. I think there's a real chance I can kill them. So let's bounce Gene, deal 4 here. They'll, they'll double the airships, but they won't have anything to crew it, so that's fine. 7, yeah. And then I stock up 4. I mean, I would have had to cast 3 spells, but with stock up, that wouldn't have been too terribly difficult. Okay, interesting. So let's go back to the deck, and I'll do a little thoughts wrap up here in a second. So, thoughts. Overall, the deck felt pretty strong. It was pretty fun. I lost pretty badly to blue-black mid-range and pretty badly to Prowess. To be fair, I went to game 3 with Prowess, and I made a handful of mistakes that maybe could have made the games closer. Since then, I added some fire magics, which I think will help that matchup. A lot of the problem is them getting down a lot of 1/1s really quickly. I could honestly see playing 4 fire magic. They've been really good in this deck. I think I'm okay with the list as it is right now. The cards I'm wary of are like 3 steps ahead, especially the second copy of Flashback. I think it's possible you might want 4 fire magic, 4 Jeskai Revelations. It's nice to have some erodes and get loss. To kill the biggest creatures, and then everything else can clean up the small things. Seer and a braid. A braid, I don't know how useful a braid is. The reason I have it is because if I were to play against lessons, in theory, if I could dig to the braid, I could then flash it back. So I could kill 2 monuments, which could be decent. But yeah, fire magic, seer. I think maybe I should cut one of these seers for another 1-mana card. But they do kill Ice Explorer, which is nice. That being said, I have a road, get lost, Revan Splatter to do that. Being an instant is nice against Slick Shot, though. So, Yeah, I'm going to leave the deck like this. I did not come to a conclusion of which is the best card drawing spell to have. It felt like having a mix was pretty good, honestly. And it felt like the numbers I had were pretty good. If anything, I might need like one more, like I said. But I think I liked having 4 loots, and that's one of the cards I might cut for another card drawing, but it's just really powerful to just run out there. If people in general become more prepared for this card, more prepared for artifacts, for whatever reason, this deck might get worse, but I understand why people have been having success with this. It's pretty nice. I think the biggest problem for this deck going forward is going to be the prowess matchup. The blue-black mid-range matchup is probably also not very good, but that deck's also not great. It's okay, but there's a lot of metagames where the winner's circle is just not going to have that. Like, it's pretty bad, heinous against prowess, for example. So, yeah, typical Jeskai control might be better against prowess, although I don't know. The thing with prowess is, with flow state, especially now, like, they have flow state, they have stock up, they have Storm Chaser's talent. All these things mean they play a really good late game, so maybe you need the power of Resonating Lute just to give you a ton of mana so you could, you know, cast lots of Jeskai Revelations and card drawing and whatnot. So, Mistrise Village, mostly just been a bad island. I think I'm going to cut that for an island. The mana base has been functional in the colors it makes. Mostly my awkwardness, honestly, was just having low land count hands with Mistrise Village and like Sundown Pass. That's not a very good combination. Great Hall, the Bibliopex. Might not need all of those, to be honest. The thing is I really like the fact that it's a tricolor land, because 12 white seems about right. I could probably do with 11 white if I'm being honest, but I would have to change this to a blue or red land for sure. 11 white plus 4 loots. I mean, that's probably fine. But this comes into play painless, and that can sometimes matter. Hamlet was good. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like this for now. So thanks for watching. Give the deck a try. Let me know if you have any recommendations or if there's any cards you think that would be good in this deck that I just haven't thought of. And we'll see you next time.